And rockin', we can going all night. Treat my number like a official price, yeah. I can never let her spend the night. Woke up cocaine all in my head, thought it was life, yeah. Hey.
Hello, stranger. It's been a minute since we last kicked it. And by the way,
hi guys, hi darlings, hi Sthandwas. I feel like I've been gone so long. I actually have to greet you guys respectfully. Sanbonan. Yep. Hi guys, I'm Ziyanda. Welcome to my channel. I've been gone a second. I apologize. Life has been doing plenty. Adulting has been doing plenty. Uni has been doing plenty. But I'm back. So today I am attempting to film a video for like the fifth time. Fifth time's a charm. I'm optimistic. It's a new month, new energies, darling, just new vibes and yeah. So what we're going to be talking about today is basically dating abroad, you know, and I'll be sharing what little knowledge / experience I have on the topic and just like interesting things that I have observed and all that jazz. I hope my food was not in the shot. Anyways, so at this point I think if you are familiar with my videos, even like infinitesimally, you should know that I live in Poland. I am South African girls. I'm Zulu. Not that that has anything to do with this video, but yes, and I live in Poland and I have for almost 2 years now. And yeah, so I'm gonna be talking about dating abroad today, and just like what it's like, how it is, what are the differences, what are the similarities, what to expect, and all that jazz. Because I mean, like, living abroad does get lonely or whatever, so you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. Firstly, I'm not Dr. Love. I'm not like no love expert. Like I literally know the bare minimum, if not less. I'm just showing this for the fun of it, really. I think in comparison to dating like at home or in your native country, or I don't know, not necessarily, whatever, where you are used to living and like where you understand the culture and the people, it's generally like easier and just less, what's the opposite of effortless? Effortful. More effortless. Jesus. So it's more effortless to do it in your like home country than like abroad, I would say, because you're like, you understand the culture and like the people are your people, so like it's a lot easier. Or anyway, that's what I assume, or that's what I've observed. Like you don't have to like relearn anything and all that. Not to say that dating abroad is hard or harder, but it's just, I think it is a little bit different. And I think that there are certain things that you need to take into consideration when looking for a mate in a foreign country. So I have notes over here, so if I keep turning this way, that's why. So first of all, we'll do cons first. Cons I think of dating abroad for me would be like, okay, the first one would be, I think this is going to be a con for me, you know, like throughout the spectrum of living abroad, is the language barrier. And to counter that, I would suggest that if you are looking to like stay abroad and date abroad, that you should learn the native language. I feel like it makes life so much easier, not just in the dating space, but just like in any and every avenue of living in a foreign country, because it makes interacting so much easier. It makes like just like your everyday mundane so much easier, because you're not going to have to be like, hi, excuse me, do you speak English? I think that's probably one of the questions I ask the most ever. So I think that learning the native language would make your social life also a lot like better as well, because if you're able to communicate with people, then you're able to like relate and kind of form some form of relation with them. Anyway, back to the dating thing. I think that it would be like a lot just It'll be a lot of fun as well, because like, you know, obviously you wouldn't like be fluent like from the jump, but like I think that people kind of chuffed when you speak their language, like even if it's like literally the bare minimum, but like I find it cute as well, like when somebody tries to speak my language. So I think that speaking the native language really would like make dating more just nicer, okay, better. So I would definitely suggest that to counter the language barrier, you should like try to learn the native language. You don't necessarily have to learn it at like proficiency level or like at certification level, but just have some inkling of what people are saying. Another con for me that like I'm quite afraid of is like over exoticization, because I am foreign looking and foreign sounding and foreign. I fear that like when I do date, like you don't know whether people are genuinely interested in you because they are interested in you, or because you're exotic. Because like men are trash, you guys, and some people really do be trying to like collect exotic bodies or whatever. Like I'm not trying to be any human being's exotic body or like a check off of their to-do list, because like people genuinely do that. So exoticization definitely is like a factor that does come into play, that I think does make intercultural and essentially intercontinental dating a bit not a challenge as such, but just like something to be wary of when looking to date interculturally. And I think over exoticizing the other person as well, it's just a bit of a like, you know, like be careful. But I don't know how one would counter that, because like how do you ensure that somebody likes you? I feel like even in like a normal relationship, like normal, you don't know whether somebody like likes you or not. Like you just go off of what they're saying and like their behavior. For the most part, you can kind of tell when people are more fetish or like kind of fascinated and curious than like genuinely interested. So yeah, but sometimes like you really just don't know. And also another thing, I forgot, but I actually read this somewhere, but it was like do's and don'ts of dating abroad or something, and the article said something about don't get into a contextual relationship, or be careful of contextual relationships or whatever. And I feel like that is so true, because like sometimes you could either A, be lonely and just need company, or B, I feel like when you are away from home, like anybody that is from home, the very few that they are available to you in this like host country, are like, I feel like if you are attracted to them, sometimes it's not necessarily like, I'm not saying the attraction isn't genuine, but I feel like sometimes it's heightened by the fact that you're away from home, and this person is such a reminder of home and kind of like a piece of home, so to speak, that you kind of think that they are like your be all and end all or whatever it is, or like you're like really interested in them, when in actual fact maybe you are interested in them, but it's heightened by the fact that you're away from home and they're like a slice of home away from home. I'm not sure if that makes much sense, but yes. And also with that said, I think that the which is my next con, like the time that your relationship spans, or the longevity of your relationship, also comes into question, because like just because like you and that person work here and now doesn't necessarily mean that you would work in a different setting, especially if you're like an expat who's like here for a while, like here for a good time, not a long time, whatever. It becomes difficult to kind of, I don't know, like I'm afraid, like what if I fall in love or whatever, and like, because I don't have any intentions of staying here forever, so now I have to either consider staying here forever, or now I have to ask Abuti over there, Abuti, like, do you want to come to South Africa with me to go live there? And then maybe let's just say by some stroke of luck they say yes, and then you go there and you realize that you actually only, I don't know, like your relationship only worked and was so amazing because of that particular instance or space or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm making sense, But yeah, so I think the context of your relationship also does come into play, or needs to be considered. Another thing was also what I just said, like falling in love and then having to consider either leaving the person, so having to break up, or having to be in a long distance relationship, which is my next point. Or so either leaving, being in a long distance relationship, or having to either decide between staying in the host country for longer or forever, or having that person like come to your country to come live with you, because you guys are in love now and we gotta do the things we gotta do. So like I don't know, I'm afraid of that. Like I'm not in the space to get into any of those things. So that's also a consideration. Is it a con though? Well, I feel like it's one of the little hurdles that you're going to have to, like, you know, when considering dating abroad. Another thing of living abroad, speaking of like long distance relationships, is I don't remember what I said before, but is like maybe a relationship that you have and you're about to maybe go to another country or whatever, and like now you have to consider things like, do I stay in this relationship or make it a long distance relationship? To which I would respond by saying no. Dips. It's not kidding. I'm kidding. But you know, I think that also becomes really difficult because like long distance relationship work in a certain context and within reason. Like I feel like if you're in the same country and like a couple hours away, maybe different states or cities or provinces or whatever, okay, sure. But like intercontinentally, darling, that becomes near impossible, I think. I don't want to say impossible, but like not for in my opinion, for my kind of preferences and needs and things within dating, it becomes not too far off from impossible, but still possible depending on how patient you are and all that. So yeah, that another important thing to consider, and this is really regarding like cultural differences and things, is that when let's just say, I don't know, you have found the one or the one for right now, whatever. When learning about somebody else, this is just like a little word of advice, like don't make assumptions and don't go off of stereotypes. My next point is that kind of like prejudices and assumptions and like false things that people have heard wherever they've heard things from kind of also are like a little hurdle when considering dating like interculturally, because like you don't know what people have heard about you, and some people like can't help but be ignorant, or maybe like a certain experience has framed how either that person looks at you or the people in general look at you. For example, maybe like people, this is not true, I'm just making an example for context, people in this country have a certain understanding of Black people. So maybe when I, you know, get into the dating scene or whatever, like people think that of me, or people think of me in a certain way because of what they've heard or because of what they believe or because of what they've been taught either by media or by their friends or whatever the case may be. So like just to counter that, leave your little prejudices and assumptions and just like whatever you've heard and learned, just don't do any of that. Like I think you should endeavor and set out to learn about that person individually and understand also that they're not like, because I feel like sometimes also like a scary thing about dating is that you're almost like a representation or representative of your kind of people to whoever you like are in contact with. So for example, everybody that in this country that I come into contact with, I am representing maybe South Africans or South African women or like Black women or like Zulu women, whatever the case may be. So like I feel like that's a lot of pressure for me anyways. I mean, obviously I can't possibly in any way, shape, form or fashion, even in the slightest manner, like be an indication or a representation of any of the people that I just, you know, mentioned, like all the any of the components that I am. So like I'm not an accurate representation probably of Zulu people. I'm not probably an accurate representation of South Africans or Black women. Not all anyway, maybe like 0.0000000000014%, but anyway, like just don't come across as like an ignorant person. I would suggest that you rather ask questions. So be like,
do you have airports in South Africa? Then
I'll be like, no.
Ah, my elephant got me here. Elephants in Africa can swim. So like, usually when people go overseas, we hire an elephant and it takes about 7 days for them to cross the sea and bring us here.
As opposed to you assuming that we actually have airplanes in Africa, which we don't. Ask a lot of questions rather than assuming things. Other thing that one would consider when dating abroad is that because of the differences in culture, certain things that may be like common sense or common knowledge to you and your people may not necessarily be that here or in whatever other country that you go to. Like kind of showing affection and things like maybe may differ from what you're used to. So I'm trying to think of an example. But I've noticed that here, like PDA is a really like very normal thing. People be making out on the escalators, in the elevators, when waiting for trams, in the trams. I'm not even kidding. Every single place that I've just listed, like I've seen people making out more than one time. Like, I mean, it's not like the biggest of shocks because I like we have public display of affection in South Africa, but just like not that intense. And it depends on where you are. I feel, especially if you're black, like black people are, because those aunties are gonna see you and they're gonna come for you. But one thing I don't know though is like if you go on a date, like I don't know how the paying arrangement is here, but I feel like at home it's also like a mixed bag. Certain people are like the dude should get the check all the time, and some people are like I don't mind splitting even. I genuinely don't have an issue splitting even, but I feel like just like notify me, because you're not about to call me up and be like, hello, we're gonna go to eat tomorrow, and then like just because I feel like if you propose or initiate an outing of any kind, you need to bear in mind that people might not necessarily be in the same financial ntontoni as you are. So I might not necessarily have budgeted to go to ABCDEFG. So if you are going to require for me to pay, tell me prior to us going out so that I know and I'm prepared. Don't make the assumption that just because in your home country men pick up the check, everywhere else men pick up the check. Now I'm not sure how it works here. I'm trying to think of it. I think it's like it's similar to like, I don't know, what I'm aware of, which is it depends on the people. Most of the time men are expected to take a check, but like not always. So I think here it's the same. Like you kind of expect it, but at the same time if it's not it, then it's okay. Like it is what it is. It depends on you and the person. But don't ever expect things or just assume that just because this is how you're used to it being, that's what it's like here as well. So you're not trying to wash dishes all night because you thought Abuti was going to pay for your food. Like, that's not a good look, honey. Not a good look. I think that is all I have for you today. Thank you guys for watching, if you did. Which, if you're hearing this, then I assume you did. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Comment if you live abroad or whatever. Like, if you live abroad and you're, like, dating, like, a native or something. Or maybe you live in your host, like in your home country, and somebody from abroad has come and you guys are having a little, you know, let me know, and let me know what your experiences are, let me know how you're enjoying it and stuff. Or if you have any like intentions or desires to go to another country as well, maybe to study or to work, whatever, let me know like what's going on, and let's just have a little conversation in the comment section. Subscribe to my channel because I'm bomb AF. And thank you guys for watching, and follow me on Instagram. Okay guys, which one is it? Anyways, bye guys.
Just say you will